Okay, we're getting into plastics and composites materials, forming and shaping, of course, in chapter 19, your keynote lecture. Alright, so if you have taken industrial material, you could have remembered this thermoplastics, right? Let me take this pointer up. So they can be shaped, alright, by a variety of processes, including your extrusion, your molding, casting, and then your thermal forming. Okay, that's just using temperature, meaning like different temperatures for forming. So we call it thermal forming. And some processes, all right, using your metalworking. Okay, so these are everything, all right, that can be shaped by a variety of processes. We can shape the thermoplastics. Okay, you can use all of this techniques. So what are the raw materials for thermoplastics? So they usually come in pellets, right? Or granules and powders, of course. Right. Then we get into strain rate sensitivity, and you should know this. So thermoplastics, they have high strain rate sensitivity. Okay. So SRS is very high, right, for thermoplastic. And this allows, all right, extensive stretching. So since you're dealing with plastics, the stretching is very important in forming operations, okay? And the more you can be able to stretch, the better, right, in plastic is, because it won't break. And this also allows easy production, okay, of your complex and also your deep parts. Like this part actually, okay, it's complex than that part, yeah. Alright, so here thermosetting plastics is another type or another category of your plastic, and they're not the same, alright? So thermoplastics and thermosetting plastic, they are not the same. So for thermosetting plastics, you generally mold them or cast them, right? You can also form them. So forming them have better dimensional accuracy. Okay, so if you form the thermoplastic, you're gonna get lower dimensional accuracy than forming the thermosetting plastics, right? So that's all one thing very good about thermosetting plastics. Okay, so if you want to use fiber reinforced plastics, then we have to use it in the form of liquid, right? Also as prepregs and also bulk molding or sheet molding compounds, so we can be able to process them into structural components. Alright, so fabricating techniques. So you can use filament winding, right? They're just a molding method. You can also use a pultrusion, and you can use a performing. Okay, so that's your fabricating techniques. Consideration, what are we going to pay attention to? The type and orientation of your fibers, you know, strength of the bond between the fibers and the matrix, strength of the bond between layers of materials. So you definitely need to pay attention to these because they are important considerations. Alright, then we get into design of plastic parts. Here you will consider low strength and stiffness, right? And then we're going to consider high thermal expansion and low resistance to temperature. And why? Because they're important in designing the plastic parts. Inspection techniques. They're available, of course, and why do we inspect? In order to determine, right, the integrity of our products. It's just a checking techniques. Processing matrix composites. So processing metal matrix or ceramic matrix composites, right? They definitely continue to undergo significant developments. So first thing is to ensure the product integrity, also to ensure reliability and reduce cost, of course. So for matrix, your metal and your ceramic matrix, this area is we got to alright we got to work on it, right, more than the other area, because you want to make sure these things with them, yeah, using them, your product integrity, reliability, and also the reduced cost. So definitely need to continue to work with metal matrix or ceramic matrix composites to get, of course, significant developments. Metal matrix composites, they are processed, and we process them by liquid phase, solid phase, or two-phase processes. And that's pretty versatile, of course, because you can do liquid only phase or solid only phase, and you can also do two phases, yeah. Ceramic matrix composites, they can be processed by using slurry infiltration, your chemical synthesis, and your chemical vapor infiltration. So make sure you hit each one of them in your reading and also in your handouts. Then we get into economics. So every time we think about economics of our operations, we're dealing with the costs, right? Cost of your machinery, cost of the machinery, the level of controls, and then your tooling, huge thing. Your cycle times, time is important. Production rate, time is important, rate is important, and also production volume, okay, the amount is important. So all these things contribute to your economics of your operation. Okay, so this is for chapter 19, your plastics and your composite materials. And we're dealing with your forming and shaping using these materials. Alright, I'm gonna end here.